Hi, I'm Elizabeth Knox from MatchPace, and welcome to a video case study. We want to give you an opportunity to hear straight from one of our clients what it's like to work with us. I sat down with Rebecca Brooks, who's the founder and CEO of Alter Agents, to talk about our year-long partnership. Alter Agents is a market research company based in Los Angeles, California. At the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, they went from everyone being co-located in the same office to being fully remote. The team transitioned really well. They were able to seamlessly move all of their work to Zoom and Slack and continue to provide really high quality products for their clients. But they noticed that their team was starting to burn out. They'd heard about the 4-day work week and wondered if that might be a way for them to provide some relief to their team. Unfortunately, shortly after they started testing it out, they realized that it caused more stress for their team rather than reducing the stress. Instead of throwing up their hands in defeat, we worked together to find a solution that would enable them to continue to provide service excellence to their clients, as well as reduce the stress level of the team. Take a listen to my conversation with Rebecca to hear how we worked with Alter Agents to help them. Did you have any hesitations about us starting to work together?
Not at all. I was super excited. I didn't think that someone like MatchPace existed to help people like us. I didn't know that there was a solution out there, somebody that could partner with us on sort of navigating this problem. So when Nicole made the introduction, it was just like a gift. Like, oh, this is how we're gonna do it. Because we didn't have the confidence to push forward with that idea because we didn't know how to measure it, how to structure it, how to tell if it was working or not, how to know how to iterate and tweak it. And you coming on board enabled all of that to happen.
So then what happened? What was it like? How did we work together?
It was really great. One of the things that I am so grateful for is that you ask me the questions that I wouldn't know to ask myself or to ask of my team. And you're really insightful. And so when we were talking about how would this work and how would we support our teams in doing so, just the way that you were from your perspective and your expertise sort of framing the challenges for us and identifying I remember so clearly you talking about the cost benefit, right? Like every decision you have has a consequence. And so it's about figuring out which consequence you're most comfortable living with. And, so I think that was really, really helpful. And then as we went through this experiment, we tried it for about 2 months. And it was not sustainable, unfortunately. I would love to have said and we moved to a 4-day work week and everybody was great. We had to do it on a rotation basis. We couldn't just say everybody gets Friday off because we needed coverage 5 days a week for our clients. And so we had this very elaborate sort of gamified, scheduling where people could schedule their days off. And but the knowledge loss from day to day and the amount of note taking and sort of prep it took, people felt like they were working 4 days a week, but they were working 12-hour days, which was not what we needed. So I think that having you there to sort of guide us through, okay, if that's not working, then what are some other things that we can do, and laying out for us, understanding what those costs trade-offs were going to be, and really just kind of guiding us through that process. I think without you, we would have said, well, it's not working, and gone back, but we actually were able to push through and find a different solution because of you guys. So.
I'm really glad to hear that, because I actually remember that moment when you guys decided that the 4-day work week wasn't working. You were like, so I guess that's the end of our work. And I was like, wait, it was a pilot. We were supposed to see if it worked. And that to me, actually, especially right now when people are thinking about reentry from COVID and what hybrid work looks like. And, the head of Salesforce is like, the 9 to 5 is dead. And the head of Goldman Sachs is like, said something about, we're all coming back to the office as soon as we can. That's just the way that we work. I think each organization needs to figure out what works for them. I don't think there's one perfect solution right now. And so I'm really glad that you felt supported in figuring out how you can work rather than there's only one solution. It wasn't that, oh man, we couldn't make the 4-day work week work, so I guess this is over. We just have to go back to working the way that we were.
Yeah, and that's really I think that was such a turning point for us because we felt really defeated by that. We felt really frustrated. And so there was a lot of feeling of we're overwhelmed, we're overworked, there's no solution forward. And it was kind of a dark moment. And what was so great was in conversations with you that you were able to say, like, this is one of many options, and let's look at some other things that we can do, and sort of went a bit back to the drawing board and talked about, like, okay, what again is the problem that we're solving for? I think that you really gave us a lot of clarity on other ways, different ways that we could think about it. And so I don't want to spoil it, but we ended up coming with a solution that's been fantastic, and everybody's been really, really happy with it. And we wouldn't have gotten there. We would have just thrown up our hands if you hadn't helped us through it.
Alter agents did find a solution that works for them. In addition to 1 to 2 company-wide holidays per month, plus unlimited vacation, every team member now has their own dedicated day off every month. It's not a day for them to stack their errands, for them to go to the doctors or get their hair cut, but it's a day for them to really devote to their own self-care. This enabled the team to be able to predict when other people were going to be off, for everybody to know that they really had a day to protect for themselves, and for everybody to unwind a little bit.
So yeah, that ended up being the solution. And I was nervous that the employees would feel like, well, we had tried this 4-day work week and it failed, and so now we're giving you 1 day a month, and that would feel like a cheat or a loss in some way. But they were actually super happy with it. The 4-day work week had added a lot of stress to them in terms of trying to get their stuff done and meeting their client needs, and most of them ended up working on that 5th day anyway. But this felt like it was something that wasn't going to add stress, would give them a clean break. So
cool. And I would imagine also, not only does the team get the benefit of a day off a month, but they also get a benefit of knowing that their leadership is really trying to figure out what would work for them, what would work for the the needs to still be responsive to clients, but also to take care of them as humans. And so, if I worked in an environment like that, I think that would notch my stress down.
And so it's created just this really great bond that I think that because we're all committed to protecting that day and protecting our time, and we place employee mental health in the center of what we do. But yeah, I mean, I think that the value that we've gotten from that relationship, every time you show up, you are 100% committed and connected to what we're doing. And I feel like you care as much about our company as we do. And so when I've worked with other consultants and other coaches and other things, and I think this relationship has felt very much like you're a team member as opposed to an outsider. And I'm so super grateful for that. So
yeah, you're the kind of organization, and that's what MatchPace wants to do, is we want to help organizations that are on this path or that are going towards this path create amazing places to work so that amazing people want to be on your team. And so that's awesome. Thank you for joining our video case study. We hope that this gave you an idea of what it's like to work with MatchPace. We want to help your whole organization run at a healthy, sustainable pace so that you and your teammates can work well and live well. If you need help, please reach out.